Okay, I'm going to accept the first challenge and try the botvinnik system in my first game. I like systems, so botvinnik system of the English opening if I can get it. Okay, so another fall. Hoping to control that d5 square. E4, try and discourage d5 from black. And just put a spanner in the works so he does play a quick d5. Okay, which he has. Okay. We've got a different opening now. So I'm giving up that d5 square. I'm not sure about bishop b4. Does black want to volunteer that bishop? Dynamically it looks okay. After knight e4. Things like bishop g5, knight f6. Bishop there. And queen d3. So plan a bishop c2 and knight f6. Cruise, but maybe effective. Trying to get some dark square weaknesses opens up. Knight f6 would be good there anyway, wouldn't it? So I'm glad that the bishop's not on there, because otherwise knight b4 would be forking. Ah. Try and reignite. So knight f6 here. Rook f6. Let's calculate queen h7, king f8. Bishop h6. It looks like a lot of funds to be had. So I'm doing it for the crowd, as a crowd pleaser. This knight sack. Alright, it's not accepting it. Okay. Well, in that case, this is very, very dangerous. This is a quick knockout. Right, thanks for the game, another fool. Okay, so Hannisberger. So my knight c6 I like as well. The tango has been accepted. That's always good news for me. Get this bishop outside the pawn chain. Already it seems comfortable for black. Avoiding tons of opening theory at the same time. So a6, bishop a7. And there's even attacking prospects. But I wonder actually about f5. Is that too weakening? Probably. I'll try this waiting move, bishop d7. Try and get the king on the h file. So h4 looks good. And it looks a lot of fun to do this. Well, maybe. Okay. I've activated the rook positionally. Queen f3 is a disaster. knight takes, rook takes, queen takes, knight f2, rook takes, queen takes. Queen f3 is a disaster, I think. There's knight e3 potentially winning queen. Or rook g3, king e7, queen h8, rook g3, king e7. Okay. Thanks, Hashburger. Okay, dangerous ride. I'm going to try Caracan. I've got a particular variation I'm fascinated by, which is not going to end up on the board now because of this. Oh well. I wanted to play the Cautionary variation for the record with e takes f6, but that's not going to happen, is it? Can I just nick this pawn? There's d5, okay. If I took, there's d5, okay. What about e5? Again, it's not really a good idea. My first thing to take, maybe. What does white do here? What does white do? This looks awkward. King h1, knight f3. Looks awkward. Double attacking the queen. Right. If I just double the pawns, because the queen has to, well, just say the queen's off to be a chicken. I don't know if being a chicken is appropriate here. Or being inappropriate. King g7 and it's true. Well, made this a lot more difficult than needed. Yes. Try and improve the king, I think, without losing these pawns. Pawns are important sometimes. I'll sort of wriggle around here. In endgames, pawns are important. I want to wriggle around here. We do seem to have an endgame. Yeah. Right. Fair enough. Bishop d6, try and get the king over. Okay, get this one to this one. Get an outside pass pawn here. Looking at this as an outside pass pawn. Although doesn't seem much to write home about. Maybe it's enough. The clock of the ones is pressing on my opponent. The king can go over here. Oh, that is a delay. Yeah, tough one. Thanks. Thanks for the game. So Finn Goodhu Q. Hi. I'm playing this bot link system. I think it's a way of getting a playable position. As well as drop C4. D3 is important. Let's drop C4. Okay. Pretty much a template plan. So bishop e3, queen d2, rook f2, rook f1, f5. Templated sort of plan you can reuse, guys. I might be threatening f takes here for bishop takes c5. Okay, that's been parried. Nevertheless, it's easy to play. Rook f2, just double the rooks for f5. This looks to stop. I'll get my pawns rolling. Okay, there's a bit of, I don't know what that is actually, I'll just take. If e4, bishop f4. So I think knight g3, g5, it's a bit of a squish. Occasionally this is backfired, but usually I'm doing well with this squish plan. Form pawn. What more can I want? That's probably black's best piece right now. I'll cement this d5, try and stop this d5, just in case. Oh, it looks as though there's h6 there. Okay, just hold that bishop in for a moment. And yeah, queen going to, oh, h4 hits h8. Actually, there's a disconnection here. This queen h4 looks strong. Looks pretty strong. This is some backfire on my king. There could be a backfire on my king, but you know, rook h6. Playing f7 here. Let's get ready for rook h3. Right, thanks for the game, Finn. Okay. Ariv Brito. It's people are very keen on gaining space for this space's sake sometimes. There are dark square weaknesses here. Okay, so d6, a6. Oh, that's a shame. I'm losing my bishop without a counterpart. And could I have made provision for it? That's a shame. Unless c5 is away. c5? I could preserve that, maybe. I like the bishop without the counterpart. But it's kind of, I've blocked it in, kind of. I've blocked it in anyway. It's not as great as it could have been on that diagonal. I have sort of blocked it in. Could it come out later on that diagonal? Maybe later, a plan of c4 later. Bishop d7. Alright, I do want to try and keep things open here. I think I might take, because that diagonal. I'll play this. Right. So at the moment, yes. Looks as though I haven't got anything at the moment. Maybe Queen G6, F5, F4. Let's keep the queens on. Bishop G4. Then F5. It doesn't matter, I think, about this. I would hope it doesn't matter about the E4 square anyway. Is F4 being threatened? Potentially F4. Drop the bishop back. So G4, H5. Okay, there's a bit of a squish going on here with G5. Actually, I'm being a bit squished. Yeah, what about getting back to this diagonal? Does that do anything? So, okay. Nice H4. It's pinned. Right. I'm going to play here. I can just take that. Got that golded. Thanks for the game with Brito. Gogip. I can't play bot voting system again. This quick D5 from you guys. No, I can. Okay. Ready to meet H4 with G4. So D3 and this. Let's just get this position with clamping down on B5 and D5. Okay, from castle, am I going to get into an attack? It's possible. It's possible. Okay, this looks fair enough. And I've given up the E5 square there. It's a concession. But it does give me, a very juicy position now, indeed. Maybe Botvinnik had a point with his system. Botvinnik might have had a point, never know. I'm a fan of systems at the moment, and I was looking up Collie. Actually, Collie wasn't a bad player, you know. I don't want to give up the dance, Grand Bishop. No, I don't want to give up the dance. It's a checkmating resource here, this dance, Grand Bishop. I think I'd rather have Bishop E4 and then a subtle queen move or two to coordinate with the bishops. I suppose F5, that's queen move. Queen G4 is an example, cooperating on G7. I was looking up Cole the other day. Yeah, he won Hastings. I think his system, you might think it's got nothing to do with him winning Hastings, but yeah, he did actually use it in some major tournaments. Cole's system, a relative of the London system with great effect. Yeah, I think these systems are underestimated for club player use. I mean, it's only recently I think the London system has taken off because of Magnus Carlsen. But I think these systems in general, yeah, I think they've got a lot going for them. As a lazy person, I've got to recommend the systems, guys. Systems. Okay, thanks. So Botvinnik system, Cole system. All right, thanks, Gogic. Okay. But yeah, Botvinnik system, I think in a way is spicier than London system, because I do like the kingside squishing plan, to be honest. I really do like the squishing plan. It feels like I don't like blocking in my f-pawn under these circumstances. It just seems to go quite naturally. E5 does seem to win a piece. This is something which is taking a liberty, and maybe I should punish it. Sometimes this can backfire. I'm not sure the backfire potential here. I believe it or not, I'm going to have to admit this. You know, I had some confusion. I checked carefully this wiki article earlier. Do you guys know what the term... This is a trick question, actually. Thanks. Do you guys know what the term, in terms of opening classification, means? The term open games. What does open games mean? Trick question. Open. I'm going to spell it for you. Notice the capitalization. Do you know what that actually means, guys? Do you know what open games means? Now look at the capitalization. I've typed it. As in open games, closed games, semi-closed games. There's context for you. As in that opening classification. Open games? Anyone know? I think I know where it's coming from, the evolutionary perspective. I think I know where this is coming from, this stuff. But although, no, maybe I'm wrong. If it's capitalized, you've just fallen into the trap. Thanks, Finnick. So, Finnick, you didn't look at my capitalization, right? you didn't look at the capitalization, did you? You see, if it had been small o, yeah, for open games, yeah, you'd be right, yeah. We'd be talking about the openness of the position. No, this whole thing is an ECO code thing. They've classified open games as the double king pawn games. E4, E5 are classified technically as open games. Because I was just saying yesterday about my confusion, and I realised from a wiki article earlier this morning, yeah, that's what they mean. If it's a capital O, right? If it's a capital O, it's E4, E5. The semi-closed games is just the king pawn without. It's semi. So E4, C6, E4, E6. I'm not getting mated, am I? Please, not getting. So, yeah, you've got to look at the capitalization. Yeah, semi-open games is E4, say C6 or E6. I think it might come from ECO analysis, that the majority of lines are in the open games. The closed games are D4, D5. The semi-closed games are D4 and something else. The flank openings are not included in any of those. And you've also got, you know, potentially the Indian systems. It's got nothing to do with how open the position is. If I said to you, open games like this, small o, that's like the number of pawns, yeah? There's an ambiguity. So I'm glad I'm not the only one. I was confused, yeah. I looked it up on Wiki. Unless Wiki's wrong. I don't think Wiki's wrong. It's a synonym. Open games is a synonym for the double king pawn positions. It's synonymous. Look it up on Wiki. Synonymous, yeah? Capital O, capital G. Yeah? And if you look at the ECO, I think it is related to ECO. The guys that did the Encyclopedia of Chess Openings, yeah? They probably found a lot of their ECO codes, they classified ECO, that ECO architecture, certain codes, yeah? it starts off with the open games, doesn't it? You've got a whole range of ECO codes in the open games, yeah? It's just a classification of openings. It's actually a classification of openings, yeah, which have that symmetrical, double king pawn. Does anyone believe me? I haven't made this up. Sorry, do you guys believe me? I mean, seriously, do you believe? Do you think I made this up? I haven't made this up. I've just been checking it out earlier. Anyone? I really don't make these things up. Often I'm not teasing you. No, but I think this whole, oh, come on, man, discipline. You got to look before you leap in chess. Discipline. I think the landscape's changed, from this classification. I think it's a historic, thanks to the game, classification. I think club players, they've got limited time. There's Netflix. We're in the Netflix era. Let's imagine we're in the Netflix era, yeah, where every second counts, yeah. There's just so many good shows on that. Let's imagine we're in the Netflix era. I think the classification of openings for the club player, for me, and I'm prototyping this with you guys because I'm working on this structure for an opening classification, yeah. For me, I think the classification of most interest for most players, so most benefit, most interest, most exciting, would be this: systems, gambits, and other openings. I would have systems, gambits, and other openings. What do you reckon? That I think that would be a great classification. Yeah. But the systems one is the difficult to define. Sometimes you do need a lot of opening theory even with systems. Yeah. There is a lot of theory sometimes to systems nowadays. I mean, like the London system has been analysed quite a lot. What do you think about that? I think it's more useful than this. I think it's ambiguous, this open game. I don't think people. It's not. It wasn't about how open the position was. It was literally about the configuration of some of the pawns. Yeah. So I prefer my classification of openings. What do you guys think? Systems, gambits, and other. I'm thinking that's the way forward. Okay, so c6, queen d6, maybe queen d7. Hold on to this guy. Queen d7. Because I'm a fan of gambits, obviously. Fan of systems. So I'm sort of thinking this is, for me, the most fun. Okay. So bishop e4. Trying to take on f3. Or not. Trying to provoke some weaknesses. So my favourite opening at the moment with white is the Van Geet or Dunst, knight c3. That's my favourite opening at the moment. I think rook e2 maybe with white. Some unexplored territory. Or reverse tango. Okay. Aha. Well, okay, I'm going to use this discovered check. Well, here, maybe. Modestly. Just try and get the rooks off. Okay, let's put this bishop back. And this bishop over here. And this bishop back. I'm not going to end up losing one of the bishops tonight. I mean, am I going to do that? That would be a slip up. There's a knight on the board. There's a risk of being forked, isn't there? With a check or nasty check. Okay, fending off this knight. This fending off, and I'm going to try and use the pass pawn potential. Okay, finish the game, Andy Bud. Can we have 3-minute challenges so I can actually play more of you on the 3-minute, please? 3-minute challenge, please. Stour KWN. So, King's Engine attack system, I think, for a bit of variety. King's Engine attack system. So this was a favourite of Bobby Fischer in his early part of the career, just my career. I think maybe he was improving his tactics or something. So he played this King's Engine attack quite a bit. So that's the light square bishop without a counterpart now. That could be a dangerous weapon later. Oh, e5. Maybe I could have done e5 already. Yeah, maybe I missed my shot at e5. It's possible. F5. Knight g3. This looks as though... Okay, I'll rule out the d5 square and try and close the bishop in. There's bishop d5. And there's f5. Okay, I'm not sure this is too sound. Thanks, style KWN. Ripping the pro player. If you want to send off a challenge, just go to my profile page and the cross swords, 3-minute chess preferred. Aha, a quick d5, huh? So g3, bishop g2. I'm sure I'll get through that list at the moment as it stands, guys. So send more challenges if you want. So I think Queen C2 and E4. Okay, I'll put a lock and key on this. There's another way of playing the position. No? Maybe, you know, maybe. Try and encourage this and to release the tension. Although, what am I doing here? 94. This is a bit long-winded and passive. Whatever I'm doing here, it's a bit long-winded. But anyway, I think there's a positional plan of getting to C5. That tension release, I don't know if that's a bit controversial. I think later the bishop could be good if I kick with F3 and open up. This bishop could be good. And it's there at the moment, but I think it could be cool on diagonal. If this opens up, we've got a diagonal here to play with. We've got diagonal. Also D4 square. Oh, I think my king's kind of safe. That is a perk of the position. No, I think something like this, and then just get the bishop later on the diagonal. And this is a sack on G. I don't think so. Especially not with the bishop on there anyway. I'm saying F3, bishop C3, and liberate with E4, trying to get this diagonal working. I don't like losing my light square bishop for a pawn at fast time choice. I think it's easier to play just to do this, F3 and bishop C3. I'm about to sneeze, I think. Maybe not quite. Okay. I'll keep the blockade then. Alright, there is a threat. Is there? Okay, I'll keep the queen close by, just in case. Threatening maybe queen f7. Okay. This one trying to get that queen away. Alright, thanks for the game, Ripon. Defense dozer. Okay, defense dozer. Knight f6. Alright. Don't tell me we're going to have this London system. We are the dreaded London system. So I've got an active rook. Pleading for counterplay with an active rook. There's a little trick here. It's b3. I wonder if my opponent's aware of that knight b3 trick. Nope. It brings back memories of Aaron Summerscale talking about something like that tactic in the days when books were not computer checked. There were tactical mistakes lurking around the place. Summerscale later became a grandmaster, giving me some advice on openings. whatever. So d5 knight takes. Oh, there's bishop c7. I've actually managed to lose the exchange back. That's really clever. I've managed to actually lose the exchange back. Mind you, where was the rook going? Rook a7, bishop b8. It's kind of being harassed. The rook was actually being harassed. Fascinating. Am I actually in trouble here? This is how I'm in trouble. I could be going down here. Pawn down. I could try and blockade. The clock advantage though is creeping. But I would blockade, I think. If I got the chance, I'd blockade that pawn. But I suspect, yeah, a6 is okay. So knight e4, f6. Alright, I think this is playable for a moment. f6. Just kick this guy. No, I'll be weakening that diagonal. Why would I want to do that? What about knight here? That hits. I've just got everything on c4. f6 first. Then knight d2. Okay. It's troublesome. That's a very fine, good position for white to be in. I think the pawn could have been taken. Let's check. That was very good for a while. White's position was advantageous. Thanks for the game. And alright. Dan has no plan. Dan has no plan. Let's hope so. Okay. Knight c3. So f4, f5 coming up. It's a template plan. I know I'm a simpleton sometimes in openings especially, but it does mean you can probably use this system in your own games more easily than some random chaos in some sharp opening theory guys. You can probably reuse this stuff if you want to torture people with this botnik system. But there's a question on here. A lot of bullet games that improve your chess. I think the better thing is to take your time with puzzles. Don't go crazy on the speed puzzle. I mean, take the time on the puzzles, find the philosophies of each puzzle, obviously, if you haven't got my tactics course, I've explained all of that. You've seen my tactics course. It's epic. It's like, it's approaching 2,000 students now. I've talked about tactics and improving. But tactics is the number one thing you can do to improve. Yeah, for most rank levels. It's the number one thing you can do, guys. Kingscrusher TV/chess tactics. There's still a discount on for the next few days. Check that out. I'll be giving a mega discount at the start of the month, though, if you watch my YouTube channel. Even more discounted at the start, which is tomorrow. I should be doing a video showing an even bigger discount. But tactics is the number one thing to improve chess, in my view, more than openings. That's why I think you could downplay openings a little bit to start off with systems. That's the whole point. I'm saying, if you look at the weakest link in the chain theory, Capablanca said learn the endgames first, not even the openings, yeah? But he was also a brilliant player tactically behind the scenes. So if you look at all your weak links in the chain, for most people starting, it's going to be tactics. In which case, you could use openings to train tactics like gambits, or get by in the openings like systems, and just train your tactics. And then start to play more specific, technical, opening stuff later as required, I think. So, yeah. Improve one's chess. So you can get tactics training, yeah. The problem with the online longer games, there's an increased risk. Opponents could be being a bit naughty online. I'll stick with puzzles because they're rewarding fun, not too much time investment, and as long as you get the philosophical points for each puzzle, as I've outlined in that course, by the way, I've outlined that. I think that's the way to go. Okay, so rook takes f7, d4 and rook e7. Because tactics will pervade all parts of the game, opening, middle game, end game. Alright, there might be queen c5 here. I'm keeping some of my frets. Like rook e7. Kill a common square, e7. Thanks for the game. Cyber chess 3. Am I playing a cyberpunk? Cyber chess. Okay. So I'm hoping this is a reasonable way to play the opening here. It looks solid enough at the moment. Bishop h2, knight e5. So e5 and queen e4 look interesting. Okay. The bishop's not doing too much there, so this might be more functional for the bishop. Looking at h6, defending c3. But that knight's impressive. Am I without a plan here? Maybe h4, h5 coming up. Although this is really. Why don't I just take on h6 anyway? Okay, I could have taken on h6. And queen e5 or knight g5. Okay. I've just gone into knight g4, haven't I? Like a moron. I've just gone into knight g4, talking about tactics. Full king, queen, and bishop. Yeah, okay. Very clever. Very clever of me to do that. Very clever. Okay. Let's get this bishop out of being trapped. Bishop f4. Bishop g5. I'm going to get this knight off the board. It's annoying me, this knight. It's too good. Let's double here. Right, keep the outpost. Pawns on dark squares is the ideal, usually away from the bishop. Right, I can protect that rook for a moment. I do feel a little bit of annoying pressure here with my pawn chain being ruptured. Wow. Okay, I think I should take. All right, so it's still tricky. It's a tricky position. Do I try and get rid of that pawn or keep my a2? I'm going to keep my a2. It's controversial, but I'll keep my a2. I think I want to get a pass pawn here going. I think. It should tie down something, if nothing else. It should tie down something. All right. Well, I'm queening. Check. Check. Thanks to the game, Cyber Chess. Okay, Dangerous Right rematch. So f5 is a bit of a squeeze. That does stop the squeeze, but my light square control is quite nice. Okay, I will do this. Bishop takes. I like the knight d5 here. This looks like a strong positional move, knight d5. The knight's kind of cute. I don't want to give too much counterplay at this time limit, or when it's not really, you know, needed to be greedy, I think. So b3 and just try and control things, you know, like the central file. Trying to control things. Although, is this a lazy way of playing? Knight e7 should be a small edge, I would hope. Ah, I've just noticed a nice little trick. Check, bishop h6. Which is mostly pointless because they don't have to do that. I mean, because bishop e7, but they can actually just take the bishop. So mostly pointless trick. If I mention it for the record. It works better here though. Bishop h6 or bishop e5. No, it doesn't work here. The knight's controlling g7. It does not work here either. I want to stop playing these ridiculously high risk tricks. Thinking about them, ridiculous. It does not work. This is not mate. There's knight g7. Ridiculous thinking. Okay, anyway. What's the safe thing? What's the chicken thing to do? Chicken mode. Let's not try and be a entertainer here. The chicken mode thing to do. What's the chicken? What would the chicken do? I think the chicken would just build up on the 7th rank. Just be content to build up 2 pigs on the 7th. I think 2 pigs on the 7th works quite well a lot of the time. Yeah, should work okay here. There is actually bishop h6 emerging potentially again with the idea of no there isn't again I'm looking into nonsense. Okay, bishop takes d6, there's rook f2, king g1, rook f1. Alright, what's the safe thing to do? Maybe the safe thing is just not to give even a file. Let's just force my opponent to work on counterplay. Oh, being a real chicken here. Check, king G. These checks run out. I must be able to play this. Alright, thanks. We've got a hyperbolic challenge. Okay. Hyperbolic challenge, huh? I'm going to start pre-moving. Pre-moving. Oh! Too slow. I'm too slow. Okay, well played. Good time limit. I shouldn't accept hyperbolic. I'm too slow, man. George Dev. Okay. George, I don't think we've played earlier today. Okay, this is definitely looking like D5 is something. D5? I think this is a common sort of trap. Alright, so F4 and F5 coming up. F5, F6. We'll just take here. Okay. Okay, and get the knight rounds. Then B3 and bishop B2. This looks safe enough on those dark squares. B3 and bishop B2. I can just take that. Blimey, I was about to pop off there, guys, because there was no challenges. Now there's 5 challenges. No rest for the wicked, is it? No rest for the wicked. I was just go back to bed or something. Okay. There's a few more challenges, it seems. Okay. So B3 and bishop B2. I'm still taking this, guys. I'm still taking that. You've ascended like vultures now that I've lost the hyperbolic game. You will try and get the rating points from me. Well, I'm tired, yeah? Okay. The vultures have descended. Although this does seem like rematch territory. Anyone we haven't played? I'm definitely going in 20 minutes. 20 minutes, that's my limit. That's my limit. I'm going in 20 minutes. I don't know who we haven't played anyway. Let's try something different. I'll try a Trompowsky system. So Trompowsky going into a London system. No, this wasn't Trompowsky anyway, but it's now going into a stonewall attack with a bishop outside the pawn chain, which is a sort of upgrade sometimes. Well, it's fun. Knight G6. Huh? I was expecting something else there. Bishop G6, Knight G7. I was expecting something else. Okay. Thanks to the game, Roku. Alright, I'll try and get some variety. Oh, I see. I see. The Owens defense. The dreaded Owens defense. I should be okay here, surely. I'm going to maneuver a knight to... Actually, I don't know. What am I doing here? I'm playing for G4. Maybe G4. I try and rip apart this pawn chain, I think. Uh-huh. Oh, that's a bit of hassle, isn't it? Oh, it's only 26. I'm going to lose another game on time here at this rate. Chicken mode dictates that I should try and play moves extremely quickly here. Otherwise, I will lose it on time. Move. No rematch. Okay, let's go on. Thank you. Okay, Foodra, 1890. Free. Hi, Foodra. Okay, so this is some sort of Gambit here. I think Alakine's played this, just taking on C3 in some game at some point. So Bishop C2, Rook E1. Or maybe just, okay, what have I got to show for the Gambit? Not much at the moment, isn't it? It's not much. Try and preserve the attacking bishop. E5. What's this? I think E5. That's a bit naughty, isn't it? I think E5. There's a Queen H5 there. So Queen H5 is looking crushing. Queen H6 or Bishop G6, either. That's mating as well. So this strange Gambit, anything that avoids Roy the Pez theory. Okay, so back to the game. Foodra. He's I'm not sure we played. Oh, can I play Bishop F4? So I need revenge. I'm 1-0 down against Peza. Can I get revenge today? Black seems to have a solid position at the moment. Transposing into a kind of, well, Pillsbury bind setup. Okay. Actually, I'm not sure about this E4 plan. Is the E4 plan worth a shot? I'm not sure. Uncertainty. What does chicken mode suggest? If I was in trying to reduce risks, I'll try and maybe get the knight out of c4, not allow that. Maybe take it easy with this e4. Yes, f4's under fire anyway. I think chicken mode, just any small non-controversial improvements to the position. a4, a5. That is controversial, that's weakening my pawns. h4 on the other hand, h5 seems less controversy. That pawn is not so available for munching, I think. So h5 plan. Full pawn. Aha. Get the bishop outside of this. I mean the king outside of this. X-ray. Aha. I can get a knight to e5. My opponents can do the same. I'll try and stop that actually. Try and get rid of that knight. Because also there's knight g4 if I get potentially get rid of that knight. And try and do this plan. What does it get me? f4 square maybe? Oh, okay, knight d5 friend. Because h6 was an issue. Is there knight f4 at least? Okay. Getting nowhere. Because it's got g5 as well. Oh, I could have just won that rook. Why don't I just win that rook? Alright. Try and safely win this without opening up the wrath of things. Oh. What does chicken mode dictate? I shouldn't give a pass pawn to my opponent. I mean, yeah, the chicken mode decision is that crucial moment. There's a little bit of controversy with something. Something is a little bit risky. Chicken mode will eliminate a tiny bit of controversy, I think. Okay, that was a very tough challenge. Very, very tough. Dangerous Ride, we've played so many times. Anyone we haven't played today? Shredded Fighter doesn't ring a bell entirely today. Or Panda, I don't know. I don't know. But I'd rather not play completely new players to the site. Please play some games before playing me. So Shredded Fighter. Okay. Shredded Fighter. Kingscrusher system. Given he's played c4. Yes. Can I provoke d5? Is this something I can provoke and go back? Yeah, I think I've seen Michael Hennigan once play like this. The King's Engine. Okay, in the Fianchetto. I thought at the time, well, this is not the sort of thing you do against the Fianchetto, but it can be. I think you can still go for a pawn storm against the Fianchetto creation. So f5, knight f6. Yeah, I can still get an aggressive looking attack, I hope. F4 here. Getting swamped over here, but is this good for white to block it all up? It's not. Sometimes it's not, because it sort of gives a free hand over this side of the board. If this is all locked up, this might not always be good. Okay, there's bishop a6 as well. Fair enough. That did win a pawn. My ambitions on this side of the board are kept on ice at the moment. Can I win a pawn back or not? At least, can I win a pawn back? Have to be careful. If I take and then rook b8, knight a6. Well, I think maybe the knight goes to c5 at the very least. Which is still, it's not particularly great outcome. There is the extra pawn, yes. There's bishop b4 as well. I'm being shredded. I'm actually being shredded. Okay, knight b7. I think I have to keep blockade here now. If queen c7, now that I've not made that a pin. Okay, is rook c8 possible? Okay, a3. That's the distractive passed pawn. a3 for a2. I don't think there's, no, I just, oh, so I'm going to put pressure on b6. It's good to look at the forcing moves sometimes. So, okay, so let's move that out of the way, out of the firing line. Try again. Try again. Oh, actually, I don't like the look of queen e8. I'm going to stop queen e8. Mind you, knight a5 is also strong. I think this is going to have to be a time win at this rate. I'm just not getting anywhere. I'm just losing more and more material. Let's say that at least. At least I've got a bishop now. Okay. Let's get the king out of here. Could my opponent have just taken on b8 just then? I wonder. That was tough, wasn't it? Tough. Okay. Who haven't we played? Sam Tells doesn't entirely ring a bell. No, we haven't played before, according to this cross table here. So b3, bishop b2. Okay. a3 and queen c2. Oh. Queenside form pawn. b4, b5, just to sort of decentralize a little bit my opponent's pieces. Or not. The e file. Right, so knight d4 coming up. I'm just taking. Why don't I just win this pawn? Win this pawn. I think this might be the last game, guys. So yeah, I hope you check out my tactics course. Hope you enjoyed the session. Check out my tactics course. And yeah, that'd be cool. Oh, rook b2. That's dangerous here. Okay, that's dangerous. Okay, yes. Is the chicken move rook b1 steering away from some controversy? If I play rook b1, is that the chicken move? This pawn is a valuable asset, potentially, to be celebrated. This a3 pawn. I've won that centre pawn, but being distracted, it seems. There's f4, there's bishop e4, maybe. F4. And if I played queen e1. Try and keep hold of things, I hope, with queen e3. This a pawn is a long way away at the moment. Is it? Can I take it? G takes, and something nasty happens. Maybe I should just do this for a moment. Keep the bishop locked in. Rook e8 check. Bishop f3. And again, and again. Although rook e8 check. Can I not take this? Alright, thanks. It's 1 o'clock. I'm going to go and eat now. Thanks. Maybe see you in the evening. Check out my tactics course. Thanks very much.